Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my random thoughts on Thursdays. This week I am doing a rant as a response to this Arizona pastor who has, and I quote, said that childless women on birth control have destroyed the U.S. with whoredom. Really? Alright, so I don't know if this has made it to the mainstream media. I don't think it has. I actually found out about this from a link that someone shared on Facebook. And this guy actually posted his sermon online. His name is Pastor Steven Anderson, and he warned his congregation that birth control not only turned women into whores, but it was also destroying the country. Okay, let me address that point first. Women are going to have sex within a marriage, without a marriage, doesn't matter whether we're on birth control or not. Whether you want to refer to a woman who is having sex for fun, a whore, well, I guess that's your opinion, and I suppose everyone is entitled to their opinion. I may not agree with that opinion very much. In fact, I'm quite offended by that opinion. But at the same time, you're entitled to your opinion. However, taking birth control in and of itself does not turn a woman into a whore. There are many, many reasons why women take birth control, and not just because we are trying not to have children. Number one reason, like for me, I didn't need to be on birth control. I have PCOS. I was pretty much told I was sterile anyway. I had a tubal ligation. I've had an ovary removed. There's no snowball's chance in hell of me ever getting pregnant with or without the pill. I still had to take birth control though, because I have very bad cycles. Very painful, very just awful cycles. And it's one of the reasons why I ultimately ended up having additional surgery to get rid of all that in the first place, because it ultimately ended up being devastating to me and everything. So now I don't take birth control anymore, but I was taking it to help ease everything because I was in a lot of pain all the time, and it was just awful. I just had a very, very bad reproductive system. My mom had it just as badly, and she ended up with a full hysterectomy herself just about a year or two after I was born. So anyway, so number one, just because a woman's taking birth control does not necessarily mean she's actively pursuing sex with a lot of men. Ugh. Other things he has talked about. So he's saying that, so if you're a good Christian, which, obviously I'm an atheist, so I'm going to hell anyway. So I guess he's probably not having a problem with atheists being on the pill because, we're just going to hell anyhow. But, he's pointing out things that, in the book of Genesis, the reason when Adam and Eve were kicked out of the Garden of Eden in the first place, that he punished women by giving them painful cycles and making childbirth painful, and it's our punishment, and it's something we're supposed to go through that because we're being punished for the original sin. Yeah. And here, this is a direct quote from something that he said. It used to be a young woman, she gets married, she has children, and that's her job. He lamented, is the quote here. They literally count my wife as unemployed, is what he said. She's not unemployed. She doesn't want to be employed. I mean, she's a wife. She's a mother. Not all women want to be wives or mothers. Now, obviously I'm married, so I didn't have a problem with getting married or anything. There's no problem with me having a long-term relationship, and there were certain financial advantages to getting married. So that's one of the reasons my husband and I got married. We didn't have any kind of religious reason why we got married. We were together for 6 years by the time we eventually decided to get married, and again, there were some financial benefits. It's a financial contract between the two of us more than anything else. We still love each other. I mean, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be together, buying houses together, raising dogs together, etc. But we're not together for any religious reason, since I'm atheist and he's kind of agnostic, Buddhist-y kind of sort of that kind of realm of things. He's more philosophical. So here's another thing that he's saying, is not only does birth control do damage to women, it hurts their body if they're using the pills. There has been some studies that have linked birth control to cancer. It's one of the reasons why I was hesitant to go on it in the first place, because of that. So he's not entirely far off with that statement, but this next statement is what I disagree with. He says, and it also affects their character, causing them to be idle, tattlers, gossipers, turning aside after Satan. Okay, women who gossip are going to gossip whether they're on birth control or not. It's a personality trait. Or, you know, like he's saying tattlers, and like, you know, who are they tattling about? Are you talking about whistleblowers for corporations or something? I don't know what he means by tattlers. And idle. Just because I don't stay in the home as a homemaker, as a housewife, as a mother raising children, that does not mean I'm idle. I work a lot. Some weeks more than others, and if I'm not working to earn money with my business, because, you know, as for those of you who might be new to my vlogs, I run my own business. I'm a consultant. When I'm not actually doing project work for my clients, I'm going out there trying to find new clients and trying to drum up more work. I do a lot of social media and everything else, you know, and then of course in my spare time I play video games. It's a hobby. I do 2 to 3 hours of video gaming a week tops, you know. Everyone's allowed to have a little relaxation and downtime. Obviously I do YouTube videos and things, and, you know, part of this, like the vlogs are kind of fun, just a way for me to kind of get things off my chest like this. The gaming videos are fun, but then I have my tutorial videos on my analytics tutorial channel, which is actually helping with my business. It's getting my brand out there and making people aware of my business and everything. So to say that a woman is idle because she's on birth control, and, you know, I'm not on birth control, but I was, and when I was on birth control, I was working 40 to 60 hours a week at a tech company in an online marketing department. I certainly was not idle. And, you know, since I was working so many hours during the week, then it was weekends I had to do my chores, because I was still living on my own, so I had to make sure I cleaned my apartment, I had to go grocery shopping, I had to cook. Typically I would cook a big pot of something on the weekend and just freeze it for the rest of the week so that I didn't have to cook every night because I was so busy with work. So yeah, do not call women, and of course, yes, there are some women out there who are lazy ass idle people, but again, personality trait and not something that's being caused by, you know, a stupid pill that they're taking.
Because the teaching behind birth control is that it frees women of the bondage of, you know, being strapped to the house with all these children. And in reality, there is some truth to the fact that having a bunch of children does tie a woman to her husband. But that's a good thing. It does tie a woman to that household. That's good. That's the will of God. That's a family. That's what we're supposed to be. Not just having women just going out and doing whatever, just living their life freestyle, free as a bird. That's not the plan in the Bible.
Here's another thing he said. Women get into sin if they're not busy raising children. Okay, so as most of you should know by now that I'm child-free by choice, I made the conscious choice to not have children because I wanted to focus on other things in my life and because I really had no desire to raise children. Not everyone wants to raise children. And then there's a lot of women out there who do raise children and have careers at the same time. And, you know, honestly, I don't know how they do it. It's beyond my comprehension how you can ever have that much energy. I would never be able to juggle both at the same time. Seriously. And a sister of mine, she's raising 2 kids on her own, working full-time and going to school, getting a nursing degree. I have no idea how she does this. I mean, seriously, Wonder Woman, I think I'm related to you. Big props to her because I'm just amazed at anyone who can do that. I have enough trouble, keeping up with doing my, building my business, running my business, doing the work for my business, and then also, like, my husband and I, we share the chores in the house. And yes, my husband does do work in the house. He helps me take out the recycling, he helps me vacuum, he helps me dust. I mean, he helps around the house. Because, you know what, we're equal partners. A woman is not subservient to the man, nor should she be. And anyone who dares try to tell me that I should be serving my husband because I'm the woman and I should be popping out children for him, I want to really slap this guy. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I just really drives me crazy. Alright, so that's the gist of everything I wanted to get off my chest. I mean, this guy just really pisses me off. I mean, just can you believe this? In this day and age, in the United States, that there are people who believe this. Now, I know the majority of people in the West, US, Canada, Europe, Australia even, don't believe in this kind of stuff. I know that they don't. I know that most people are sane, reasonable people who believe in equality and are working towards getting more equality for both genders. However, there is a small but vocal minority out there of people who still believe in this crap. And what scares me the most are people who not only do they believe in this stuff fervently, but they try to spread it and try to get other people to believe in it in the hopes that other people will take action. And what scares me is that they might eventually incentivize someone to go out and act against these whoring women as they're viewing them by attacking them, perhaps. I know that something like this has not happened in the U.S. as far as I know, but I know in India and in countries like that, women can be shamed, or if they're shamed because they're out working instead of being at home and being a mother, that they will have acid poured on their faces, that kind of thing. Or raped. I mean, there was that one famous case of that girl going to see a movie with a guy and then getting brutally raped and basically killed in India. I think it was in Delhi. I could be wrong about the city, but it was like last year, and there was huge outrage about that. But I'm afraid that if these kind of thoughts and ideologies take root in the U.S., that women in certain areas could be at danger of being attacked like that. And I think it's so wrong. Okay, if you want to raise your children, especially your daughters, to want to grow up to be a wife and a mother and not have a career and that kind of thing, I guess it's your choice to raise your children that way, but do not start shaming women just because, we decide that we want to take control of our bodies and take birth control and not have children and to go out and have careers and that kind of thing. There is no shame in women having a career and competing against men in various career fields and everything else. If it doesn't require physical strength, then women in general are on equal grounds to men, in my opinion. Intellectually, dexterity-wise, eye-hand coordination-wise, all of those kind of things, women can compete with men any old day, no problem. Physical strength is the only area where we can't, and I will acknowledge that anytime. But anyway, I'm rambling now. What do you guys think? What do you think of people like this who just want to oppress women and put women back in their place and all this stuff? I mean, just it really pisses me off. It angers me, and as I said, it also scares me because it scares me to think of what action some people might take based off of these opinions. It won't be pretty if anything if anyone decided to take action based on these words. I think it would be a horrible thing, and I hope it doesn't happen, but it scares me that it might. Because it does happen in other countries, and it could always happen here. Anyway, quick fitness update. Last week I didn't get the 5 in that I wanted. I only got 3 in, but I did get my 3 45 minutes in, so I did get all of that done. This week I've had 1 so far. I have to do at least 2 more. So far I'm at least keeping up with my 3 times a week minimum requirement, but I do need to try and increase that over time. Alright, so anyway, thank you so much for joining me. If you like my videos, please give them a thumbs up. Please share them. And if you're not subscribed yet, well, why not? Please subscribe. I would appreciate your subscription, and I always love having more subscribers. Anyway, until next week, take care. Bye-bye.